pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We'll have a roll call vote, please.
You got it. Shepherd.
Here.
Likens. Here. Porfilio.
Here.
Oxley.
Yes.
Maloney.
Here.
Garland.
Yes.
Wheeler. Here. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Motion to approve the minutes of the February 9th meeting?
So moved.
Moved by Porfinio, second by Likens. Any changes,
Yes.
questions? Mr. Maloney?
And the motion to accept the effects of finding on the Thornton Fuel Station. The minutes show that I voted yes or aye on this, which is not correct. I very clearly voted nay.
Yes.
The clerk's minutes should reflect that, and the video certainly does.
Yes, I agree. That was error. So we will, I don't know if you want to make a motion to amend
we have a
that
motion and a second on the
meeting
floor
minutes.
already.
Yes. So
No.
if I could have someone, a movement, make a motion to amend the original motion
Brent?
to approve the, yep, to indicate that Commissioner Maloney did vote no for that
Okay.
item.
remember
Change
that.
the minutes. Now, what other
And if the
changes?
seconder could second
Scott?
that? Yeah, thank you. So the motion would be to approve the minutes as amended by that motion.
Okay. Do we have any other changes or suggestions? Kimberly, you had a suggestion?
I will identify some changes through track changes and send them to Kathy
Okay.
and ask her to approve those. The language that's written regarding the R1 district, that it is more flexible and accommodates smaller lot sizes, that's actually the RO district that I was referring to,
Okay.
so that I need to correct that.
Yeah, I thought those were made, you did indicate that, and they were
I think they're still
okay.
the same.
Says R1 typically provides more flexibility for smaller lot areas. Setbacks read as similar. Okay. I think we should probably table these minutes till next meeting and get them corrected.
Yep.
Staff's corrections and,
That's fine. If we could get a motion to
yes, we'll do that.
defer the approval of the meeting minutes from February 9th until the next commission meeting.
Okay.
Yes, so moved.
Okay. So you withdraw your motion?
Yes, I withdraw my first motion.
Okay. So now we need a new motion.
Motion to table until next month or so, such time
Yes,
as
Okay.
to
these are-
defer
corrections are
until-
made.
Yeah, motion to defer, because if you make a motion to table, then you have to make a motion to untable. So motion to
Same
defer.
difference.
Defer, all right, motion to defer.
Okay. Do we have a second to that?
Second.
Second by Janine Wheeler. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Okay, thank you. Tonight, we have no public hearings. We have new business, 1016 State Street. Kimberly?
Thank you, Chairman. Good evening, members of the commission. The case before you tonight is case number 2021-002. The applicant, Joe Gallus, is seeking approval of final development plans for a redevelopment project consisting of a 3-story mixed-use building with a total of 2,100 square feet of commercial space on the first floor. And I have a Scrivener's error I need to correct in the staff memo. A total of 4,760 square feet of residential space on the second and third floor, with a total of 6,860 square feet. The property is located within the city of Lockport's historic district boundary. The lot previously had a 2-story building that was damaged in a fire and demolished in 2012. The 2009 Downtown Master Plan identifies this property for historic mixed use. According to the Historic Preservation Plan, the subject property is located in the primary zone of the historic district in what the plan identified as Primary Zone A. The primary zone is described as the State Street Commercial Core, which is organized in a linear fashion and encompasses most of Lockport's historic business district, which developed during the late 19th century and served as the core around which the city's older residential areas were built. The zone is comprised primarily of traditional American party wall street front structures. The collective treatment of these areas will be important in reinforcement of the district. An aerial map is displayed on your monitor, and a site plan is displayed. The site plan was provided and illustrates a new 3-story mixed-use building with 2 commercial tenants on the first floor, 2 residential units on the second floor, and 2 residential units on the third floor. The building is located on the west side of the parcel with 0 lot line setback. Parking is located at the east side of the building, and pedestrian walkway is located on the south. The first floor is designed for 2 tenants. No known tenants have been referenced to date. The upper levels have an additional 4-foot projection that will cantilever over the pedestrian walkway below. Residential access comes from a wood stairway system located at the rear of the building. A public parking lot is located at the rear of the building. It is assumed that parking has been designated for the residential and commercial tenants. Loading will occur from State Street or rear parking lot during non-peak hours. And street access to the property will continue from the rear of the property, which is accessed from 10th Street. Pedestrian access is located on the south from State Street. Elevations are displayed on your monitor. The building is a 3-story building. Staff had been working with the applicant's design team for several months, and the elevation plans attached have been designed to be complementary to the scale of the existing historic buildings on the block, as well as capture some of the architectural elements of the historic buildings along State Street. The height of the proposed building is 37 feet 8 inches. Maximum height in the district is 45 feet. The exterior elevations were reviewed and approved by the city's Heritage and Architecture Commission on February 16th. The elevations show that the face brick is used for the facade of the building, or west elevation, with stone base and cut stone accent for the first floor storefront. Hardy board siding with random rubble stone is proposed on all other elevations. A treated lumber deck with guardrails and columns is shown on the east elevation, which provides access to the residential units. Rooftop or ground mechanical equipment is not shown, however, will need to be screened appropriately. Rubble stone will be consistent with El Dorado rough cut stone to be similar to the appearance and mortar details of other downtown buildings. The applicant will need to address how trash is handled. If common area garbage units are to be used in the public parking lot, this will need to be added to the written narrative. Signage is not included with this submittal. Any new signage will need to be approved by the H&A Commission. Exterior recessed light fixtures were approved by the H&A for the pedestrian walkway. Any other lighting shall be approved by the H&A Commission. The Lockport Fire Protection District and the building official have no comments at this time. Additionally, the city's engineer has reviewed the plans and all engineering-related concerns have been addressed. Should the commission find the final development plans for the proposed redevelopment project located at 1016 South State Street, the following motions are recommended. A motion to approve a final development plan for a proposed redevelopment project consisting of a 3-story multi-tenant commercial residential building subject to the following conditions. 1, prior to the committee of the whole meeting, the following must be addressed. A final site plan shall be provided with additional information as referenced in a planning review memo dated March 3rd, 2021. 2, all signage for future commercial tenant signs shall be reviewed and approved by the H&A Commission. And 3, additional exterior lighting fixtures will need to be reviewed by the H&A Commission. This concludes staff's analysis, and the applicant is here this evening to answer questions or provide comment.
Kimberly, you refer to a site plan, such as what? The building's 0 lot line, all the way through, and it's 10-foot patio in the back, which is poured already, so where would the site plan come in?
The site plan shows the dimensions of the lot. It shows the building located on the lot. It would show the rear stairwell, the stairway system,
Okay.
and the pedestrian walkway to the south. So it's needed for a final development plan. You need a final site plan to show the location and dimensions of the property.
Okay. I will not be voting on this. My firm has done the concrete on that project, so I will abstain from voting on this project.
And I would have suggested just abstaining even from discussion, so, but that's fine. That'll be noted for the record.
One comment I'd like to make. The drawing shows the front doors on the ground floor and the front opening out over the sidewalk. I didn't think that was allowed, is it?
Bob, you want to speak to that?
And just for the record, this is actually a city-owned property. The developer doesn't own it yet. So, and some of the sidewalk requirements were, imposed by the city, not necessarily the actual developer.
You want to address the doors, Bob?
Do I need to announce my name?
Yep, you do.
My name is Bob Morris, Orbis Architects, 432 East 14th Street, Lockport, Illinois. I don't believe that there's a code issue with the doors opening out like that. I think if you look at some of the other downtown buildings, you probably find a number of them that do the same thing. But
Right.
if it's a big issue, I don't think we'd have any problem swinging them in. The only issue would be is if we had an occupancy large enough that the doors would be required by code to swing out. And easily, it's conceivable that if we had some kind of a restaurant in there, that the occupancy would go up to the point where code would require that the doors swing out.
No, well, it's customary when the doors swing out that they're recessed so they're not swinging over the public sidewalk. I mean, I'm not opposed to this. I'm just bringing it up as I've never seen.
Okay,
I
well,
think
let's
if you look at the
like
buildings
this.
downtown, you'll find a number of them that I know just Marshall Tile does, the studio does. There's probably, well, I'd hate to guess how many. We've got a number of buildings that do that. It's not,
I think that's something for the building department to figure out. It's not.
Yeah, I mean, if acceptable with the city and the building department, I'm fine. I just don't recall coming across that before. And I haven't been in every business downtown, so I mean, what Bob is saying I
We
don't
will-
dispute what he's saying.
We'll review that when they
Okay.
submit building permits, if approved.
Thank you, Lance.
Fine.
Any other questions or comments?
Hey, we have didn't go first.
I just noticed that, there's quite a big space between the buildings.
yes.
And I was just wondering if there's going to be any visual cues like bollard or planters between the parking lot and that walkway? Because I know just on the parking lot in Hamilton, I've seen cars try to exit between the buildings where there is no vehicle egress.
Yeah, I think that that's something that our Public Works can work through. Since it is a public walkway, we'll work with that to see how that interacts with the parking lot and the street on the other side.
And again, that requirement for that sidewalk was imposed by the city as the owner, required under the redevelopment agreement that was entered by the developer. So this is not a developer's idea of putting in that gap between that way. It was the city-imposed requirement.
Okay, anyone else? Scott?
We have gutter and downspout on that backside to catch the stormwater or go to subgrade. I know it's not really zoned, but just curious.
Yes.
There is a gutter along the backside of the building. It drains into a 6-inch storm sewer that's already in place. Run, part of the whole municipal parking lot in the back. Storm sewers were run through that parking lot, and storm lines run up to the back of each one of the buildings. We're just simply tying into a storm sewer that's already there, right up at the property line.
Thanks, Bob.
Sure.
I got a couple things. I'm looking at the picture on the bottom of page 5 of the packet. That sidewalk, it's got a couple downspouts spilling on it. Isn't that a nice issue with the city?
No.
Is there a way we can connect that underneath, or is that the neighbor's property?
There's storm drains in the back.
The downspouts go right into a storm sewer.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm looking at the
It's going to
picture.
be eventually connected.
Yeah,
It's,
so-
it's not
yeah.
right now, because it's
Okay, all
temporary
right.
during
Correct.
construction, during the winter. But we are very cognizant of the liability issue regarding the downspout being on the sidewalk, and we've seen accumulation of ice, so that will be resolved.
Thank you. And Bob, was there ever a thought put into making it echo the French Quarter style building next to it?
I'm sorry, what?
You know how the French Quarter style down in New Orleans, where they got the balcony in front, the building to the south of it has that? Was that ever thought about for the apartments instead of
We
putting
probably
in the
came up
back?
with about 10 schemes, and that
Okay.
was, a Greek revival style was one of them.
Okay,
And we were asked to, we actually had the Greek revival style, which the Stagecoach building is a Greek revival building. We had that done, we had it approved by H&A, and we were asked to come up with another scheme. And this is,
I love
this
the
is a
building.
reflection of what we were asked to do. I think, actually, I think this came out much more attractive than what the Greek revival style building.
Yeah, I think it's a great addition to the downtown. It's fantastic. My last question is the parking in the back. Are there going to be dedicated spots, or, because parking downtown is becoming, tough.
Yeah.
First off, there's no
So,
requirement
yeah,
to
there-
have parking
th-
with a building
That
downtown.
parking in the back, it's done through a shared easement agreement with the property owners around that area regarding the spots. There's not a requirement for dedicated spots. We do have agreement with the developer that their tenants would have adequate spacing during, for overnight and everything else. But again, because it's to address what wasn't there before, it's not, once you start saying one business has 10 spots and another has 5.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
They're
so
all gonna
it
start
is,
fighting.
yeah, it's open to the public except for certain hours. There are certain spots that are available for residents who reside upstairs, and obviously you can't park overnight in any of those spots.
The apartment demand is going up then, Lance, downtown? That's good. Excellent. Yeah, I've been down there the last couple of weekends, and man, it's full in all the businesses down there. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's working well.
That's all I had.
You can
Thanks.
end up with an hour wait for many of our restaurants on a weekend.
It's a good problem to have.
That is a
Oh, yeah.
great problem to have, yeah. Actually, I think the harder part than finding parking is getting into the restaurant, because they're full.
It's awesome. Thanks. Good job, Bob.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, do I have a motion?
Motion to approve, let's see here, we got to read it off.
Yes, sir.
Is it in here? Motion to approve final development plan for proposed redevelopment project consisting of a 3-story multi-tenant commercial residential building, subject to the 3 conditions in the staff memo.
Second?
Motion by Porfinio, second by Maloney. Any other questions or comments? Roll call vote, please.
You got it. Shepherd.
Yes.
Likens.
Yes.
Portillo.
Yes.
Oxley.
Abstain.
Maloney.
Yes.
Garland. Yes. Wheeler.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. This will go to city council on the 17th? 17th? On the 17th, 7 PM in this room. Pardon me?
committee of the whole on April 7th.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, motion to adjourn.
So move.
Moved by Maloney, second by Likens. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.